Hey there. So, I've been working on a new mapping unit with my third graders, and I'm excited to share with you how it's been going. I'm new to teaching grade 3, and I'm in a new school this year, so there have been more than a few learning curves thrown at me, but I'm rolling with it and learning and growing along the way. The unit Me on the Map is one that we cover in third grade social studies, but the original unit plan was very open-ended, and like many of the other units I've seen, there was little to no technology use included, and the overall direction the unit could take was left to the teacher's discretion. I decided to take that hint of freedom and run with it by revamping this unit and using Google Classroom and the G Suite tools to facilitate the bulk of the learning in this unit. The goal of Me on the Map was for students to learn to understand the importance of maps, to be able to read their features and use them, as well as to interpret them and what stories they're telling. The grasp task that I gave students was that they were going to learn to be cartographers, creating a version of a map for other students their age coming to visit our amazing city of London with their schools and or families. They were super excited and honestly a bit nervous about the idea of sharing their work publicly. And that's where this project redefined learning that could not have happened had they not been able to share their work with a larger audience. Using Google Classroom, I created a social studies class to use for this unit and made Google Drawings, Hyperdocs, YouTube videos, and ultimately a class-created Google map called KidSpots London. We began the unit with a pre-assessment that I designed in Google Drawings. It was meant to be a drag and drop, but moments after they started, I realized what a disaster that idea was, considering the fact that my third graders weren't skilled at dragging and dropping yet, and were moving all the movable parts on the screen around. I quickly changed the plan and had them instead type into the boxes their answers, and that worked much better. The unit then proceeded on with 2 different Google Hyperdoc activities and some mini lessons on map features, their importance, and their storytelling capabilities before I presented the students with the grasp task. I wish I had my camera out when I presented them with the grasp task. Y'all, they were so excited to be publishing their work for the world. One student even asked if we were going to become famous for this. In another reflection with another student, he actually told me he was quite nervous at this point about the project, but once we had finished it all and he had seen some of the feedback from people around the world, he was actually proud of his work and thought it was pretty cool. They worked on coming up with their mapping ideas for a class period and then took several days to learn how to begin adding their mapping points to our class map. To differentiate this, I filmed a screencast video teaching them how to add their points to the map so that students could move at their own pace throughout the lessons. They were floored that I had made a YouTube video and gave me their very own feedback about my work, which was really cute and very typical of students this age. Students who finished early were then able to help out other students who needed support, and everyone was really engaged throughout the entire process. When our map was finally finished, I sent it off into my professional learning networks on social media. I shared it with our third grade team, with my family and friends on Facebook, and with my Twitter network. Within 2 days, the map had over 300 views. The students loved this. We also had several comments from people sharing feedback, suggestions, and personal connection stories to points on the map. It was so awesome. They were so amazed that people were actually checking out their map and couldn't wait to take it home and share the links with their parents. Overall, it was a bit of a stretch in the constraints of privacy and security at my school to reach the redefinition level with this project. And even though the connection to the outside world came mainly through me, I do think it really hit home for students, and now they have something that they can share with their families and visitors who come to see them. And they also have the tools and the knowledge to apply this learning of map making at home in their own time. Their learning was evident in their ability to complete the given tasks with or without support from me or their peers. I regularly walked around observing, questioning, and supporting their understanding of the tech features and the importance of creating a map that others would find useful and helpful. So I do think we were successful with this project, and I think This tech revamped unit overall has shown both my colleagues, myself, and my students how valuable and helpful it is to use technology in our teaching routines. Here are some of the reflection pieces from a few of my students.
Hi, I liked actually mapping everything on the map because I'm happy that some people would actually go.
The part that I found most exciting was adding things to the map and changing the icons and getting to add pictures, because you would post it online, everybody would get to see it, and our own work would be on it, and it would be very cool.
Hi, I liked how you could show the restaurants you know to other people so they can go there too.
My favorite part of social studies was mapping out the whole of London and telling where people should go, like exciting places to go.
If I could do this unit over again, I'd try to have time for students to extend and create their own personal maps to share with their families, or to create maps that tell a story about their life or something else that could then tie this unit into another subject. I did make changes to the drag and drop features of the pre and post assessments to make them more accessible and less frustrating to students. Given more social media options, I'd also extend it to allow them to communicate and survey others around the world to find out more places that they might add to a map of London, or change the task completely and focus on creating a world map with facts about areas in the world that are facing issues related to sustainable development goals, or something like that would add more of a worldly and global issues perspective to the learning. Our unit actually wraps up in another 2 weeks with some real-life mapping, where we will be using GPS and comparing it to paper mapping to get ourselves to a nearby park. After that, we will conclude with a final assessment that will happen through Google Classroom again. As for sharing this unit, I have regularly updated my third grade team in our meetings and via email to communicate what we're doing and how my class is doing it and what parts are working or not working, and I'll continue to do that. In completing this project, I've really learned a lot about the skill level and of technology use among third graders. So I now know better what they're capable of and where to start from better when I plan future units. And I really took home once again the importance of using grasp tasks that are contextual so that the students can really relate to them, and which allows for more connected and deeper learning. I hope to continue pushing the use of innovative technology in my class this year and to develop more units that will allow us to stretch our learning on both the SAMR model and T3 frameworks to reach the highest levels. That's all for now. Thanks for checking this out.